to attend his graduation. She's plagued by financial insecurity, and in addition to training at her new facility, she has sold plasma twice, started delivering for DoorDash, and recently took a part-time job on her regularly scheduled days off or day off. A NATCA member in Nebraska pays a $2,800 copay for a specialty medication to treat his wife's autoimmune disorder and prevent it from becoming crippling. After a month without pay, he's unsure how he's going to pay for the basic living expenses and his wife's medical needs. We've heard from recent graduates of the air traffic control training in Oklahoma. They are resigning and cannot begin this challenging new career without a paycheck. We've heard from other air traffic controllers that are struggling to find ways to to pay for gas and to get to and from work, while others are struggling to pay for childcare so they can go to work. These are real people. They're real Americans, and they are facing real problems. They deserve better, and they absolutely deserve their pay. The aviation safety professionals we represent are doing everything they can to continue to show up and deliver America's passengers and cargo safely to their destinations. Congress must act immediately and end the government shutdown and ensure that all individuals who have not been paid during this prolonged closure receive their compensation. Enough is enough. Now, thank you, and I'll be happy to take your questions along with Amy and Jonathan. Go ahead.
Even if Congress strikes a deal to end this government shutdown, how soon do you think you'll have enough air traffic controllers back working to avoid cancellations and delays that we're seeing?
Well, air traffic controllers are showing up every day right now, day in and day out, doing an amazing job that they can. What we're going to have to find out is how many actually resigned, how many retired due to this shutdown, and truly started assessing all the different impacts that this shutdown's had. Yes.
Do you have a sense of how many recent graduates have resigned already?
We only have reports. I've talked to Secretary Duffy. We knew over last week it was 4 to 5 that had already resigned and growing by the day. Go ahead.
Hi, Allie from Bloomberg News here. I wanted to ask if obviously there's a deal right now that's being worked through Congress, hopefully it passes, but if that's passed, when's the soonest that controllers would get paid?
We don't have the exact timetables because we don't know when the government will fully, give him just a moment, make sure he's okay. All right. We don't know when the government fully opens up and what the pay schedules will look like. All I can reference is what happened in 2019, and it took air traffic controllers approximately 2 to 2.5 months to be able to be made whole from all of their compensation. They'll receive some early on compensation based off of previous pay, but then going back in air traffic controllers, then having to weed through paycheck after paycheck to see where they compensated for all the time that was missed. Yes, sir.
Sam, Politico. Secretary Duffy yesterday said DOD had offered military air traffic controllers to him, but he was unsure if he could use them for the civilian airspace. What's the status of this idea? What has NATCA heard from DOD?
We haven't directly engaged with it, but air traffic controllers across the country go through a rigorous training process. They're highly skilled, highly trained, and that would take quite some time to have anyone else control the airspace that FAA controllers do day in and day out.
And is NATCA's understanding that the FAA-ordered flight cuts at 40 airports will continue to be phased in and ramped up this week despite the deal in the Senate?
Administrator Bedford and Secretary Duffy would be the ones to determine if that process is going to move forward. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Assuming and hopefully you all do receive a paycheck quickly, assuming that the shutdown ends, how long will it take for your workforce, for your controllers, to feel like they've got their head clear, that they're back in the game, that they're able to go in and not have that distraction? In other words, is there a residual lag time before your controllers truly are back feeling like they're back in the game and able to concentrate solely on the job?
Yeah, this is one of the worlds where this shutdown isn't a light switch. It's not just on and it's not just off. Air traffic controllers have to go in and be perfect every single day. And they know, based on what is in the current bill, that January 30th will loom around the corner. Being made whole and being able to be back up is knowing that every shutdown that you could possibly be the political pawn, never puts controllers completely at ease, but getting them paid is the priority so they can live their lives and ensure that they have the proper compensation. It's the right step in the right direction. Whatever it takes to open this government and pay our members is what's needed right now. And we'll have to continue dealing with the fallouts and what the stress, added stress and pressure that this has caused. Go ahead.
Dave Shepardson from Reuters. The Secretary said that the safety data has been going in the wrong direction and suggested that controllers are making more mistakes, they're fatigued, either for runway separation, ground incursions, and so on. They also cited reports that pilots filed. Have you seen this data? Do you think that's accurate, that controllers are not performing as well as they did pre-shutdown?
I haven't seen the data specifically, but I can tell you every day that this shutdown it goes on, that an air traffic controller had to survive 41 days with financial insecurity, that it leads to added stress, frustration, pressures where air traffic controllers cannot be 100% focused on their job. They're not a political pawn. They shouldn't be used as a rope in this game, and they know it. They feel it, and absolutely, every day that this drags on, that we have to worry about the stress and the pressure on them. For a workforce that has to go in and be 100% of the time, there is no world where it just operates the same and smoothly when people aren't receiving pay. So it's something that concerns us. It's something we've been speaking about, and it's something that's been real since day one of this shutdown. Go ahead. Absolutely.
Okay, first one. We're obviously in the midst right now of ramping up these flight restrictions at the border airports. We don't know if that's going to continue on or not, but is that something that's actually making an appreciable difference or would make an appreciable difference at a certain threshold for the controllers as Secretary Duffy is trying to do?
Secretary Duffy and Administrator Bedford will have to review what each and every one of those restrictions does and what it looks like, and are they getting the results they see. Air traffic controllers show up to do our job day in and day out. One plane or every plane in the sky, we're going to do everything we can to ensure the safety of the American flying public, and the administration will have to determine what that looks like. But I can say that we have made it very clear that every day that this shutdown was to go, that's going to be an increased risk in the system. When there's increased risk in a system, there's only one way, there's two ways that you can handle it. One is open the government and paying the air traffic controllers and the aviation safety professionals. Two is you have to look at the capacity of the airspace and how many flights that air traffic controllers are handling every single day.
And the second one is just, I know at the beginning of the shutdown, you were very clear about saying, warning members, don't try to do any sort of organized action, that would be illegal. There have been a couple of air towers facilities that have had a very large number of people calling out at the same time. Secretary Duffy highlighted Atlanta yesterday, 1522. We've seen that happen in Newark, Chicago, Los Angeles at times during the shutdown. What's your explanation for what's going on there? Are there small organized actions happening, or is there another explanation for why we see these concentrations of a lot of controllers in one space not having absences of listening?
We absolutely do not condone any or support any level of a organized action. There are no organized actions going on. If there are issues in this system that are resulting from the shutdown, they have to be determined and discussed and addressed by the FAA every single time that something like this goes on. What our members are facing are issues, right? We use the term call in sick so loosely with the federal workforce that are the accepted employees that have to show up. They're facing real issues. We have letter after letter talking about the impacts this shutdown that it's having on them, that they can't pay for gas to get to work, that we have trainees that have moved hundreds if not thousands of miles across the country to the highest cost of areas of living and now can't even afford to go to work, or they can't afford the child care to come into work. That is real, and it's not something that can be looked at, or it's not something that can be diagnosed, because it's going to be moving around the country, different people, different shifts, different issues in their life every single time. And speaking about that, I did want to give Amy a chance to speak about just those pressures right there. She comes from a dual, both her and her husband work for the FAA, and what that's kind of caused. So Amy, if you'd like to address that.
So my husband and I are both air traffic controllers. Now having missed 2 paychecks, that uncertainty and that financial strain is becoming unbearable. It's now a dinner time conversation with my kids on prioritizing bills. Yesterday, my kids asked me how long we could stay in our house. Having to answer that question was heartbreaking. But it's not just us that's dealing with that. That stress, that uncertainty, that fear is being felt among thousands of air traffic control families across the nation.
Amy, can I just ask you while you're still there, can to you and to your family? You mentioned a little bit there, but just every single day going to work with this hanging over you, what have you had to juggle? Have you had to juggle, I don't know, going to the grocery store or putting gas in your car or diapers? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Absolutely. So we work in an environment that requires that 100% focus and presence. And then having to have those conversations at home with your family, with your kids, explaining that, hey, Christmas might look a little bit different this year, right? That's difficult on the family. That adds a stress that we've never had to deal with in the past. So when you walk into an operation and you know your coworkers have taken a second job, they're up till midnight driving Uber because they can't pay their bills. Everyone's questioning if they can pay their mortgage. I have coworkers who cannot pay for childcare, so now they have to figure out how they're going to come into work. That uncertainty, that fear, creates a distraction that no air traffic controller should have to carry when we're ensuring the safety of the flying public. But that being said, we are 100% committed to our jobs. Every flight that we handle is our #1 priority, and the safety of that flight. We just want to do the work that we love, continue serving the flying public, but not have to question how we're going to pay bills and make ends meet.
Thank you. Did I miss somebody back here? Go ahead. I'll come right over here next.
Sarah Blossel, CBS News. You talked about this a couple different ways, but I'm just curious, as we're approaching the possibility of the government shutdown ending today, do you see a world in which we see less staffing triggers and staffing improves by the end of this week, or do you think that is going to continue to carry on as this, kind of peters out?
I think we've seen a shutdown go longer than any time in history, and every single day it's presenting a new challenge. You can't predict what the issues are because, again, if the shutdown is to end tomorrow, controllers still haven't been paid yet. They're still facing those issues. While the rest of America will get to go on, and that will no longer be the headline the news headline, it's still real for them. So we're going to have to continue working through the issues, and our focus is it's not ended. Even though that there is a new, a new light at the end of the tunnel, we'll call it that, every single day, an air traffic controller is still facing the issues that they had yesterday, and they're getting worse every single day. So we will continue to work with the administration, we'll continue to fight for it, and we'll continue showing up to work to ensure the safety of the American flying public, and we will do everything to get it back fully on track. But it should show that a government shutdown is not sustainable, and in no way should air traffic controllers ever be used as a political pawn in the process.
Reagan National Friday had the most cancellations, according to the FAA, was because of staffing. Just to clarify, is that just people calling out sick? Is that people can't afford to go to work? Is it in a way protest? Is it a combination of that?
Yeah. Just so everyone knows, before the shutdown, air traffic controllers got sick. During the shutdown, air traffic controllers get sick. After the shutdown ends, air traffic controllers will get sick. And DCA is an extremely low staff facility. That every day that they show up, they are already starting well below what they should. So 1 to 2 persons being gone, whether that they had to take medication for, Benadryl for the allergy season that's going on, they can't work that day. They have a stringent requirement to show up to work fit and ready for duty. That could be the added stresses and pressures of it. Every person is dealing with a different level, of financial stability or instability. So some of those issues may be real, but again, it just goes to show how fragile this system is, and putting this additional stress and pressure on it, we're going to see that level of issues that we have to contend with.
One more question. Could Jonathan say something also?
Yeah, I'm going to, by all means, here in just a moment.
I was just going to ask, kind of following up on that, in terms of, what are you seeing as kind of the most vulnerable areas in terms of where the staffing triggers are hitting the most? And are you seeing, like in the New York area, of course, where we're seeing a lot of these staffing triggers, is that because of the same reason as DC, where they're already sort of short-staffed? And so
This country is short-staffed right now. We're 3,800 certified professional controllers short. 91% of our facilities do not have the proper staffing. Over 41% of our facilities work a mandatory 6-day work week, 10-hour days. That is what you're getting to see day in and day out, is how few controllers actually run this system to keep it moving at what they do, and they should be lauded for the work that has been done. And now getting to see the disruptions that it causes to lose 1 or 2, absolutely proves why the long-term commitment to the hiring and training of the next generation of air traffic controllers is needed now more than ever, and why this shutdown has to end. But I do, speaking about the recruitment, retention, the bringing in of new air traffic controllers, Jonathan has several trainees at his facility, recently attended a career day affair as well. I'd like him to speak a little bit about that and the impacts of the shutdown. Jonathan?
Thank you. Yeah, the impacts of the shutdown are real. At my facility, we're a training facility. We send people to the bigger and larger facilities. We're an influx. They come in, they get out. And now we have guys who are, they're all Gen Z. They're 23, they're 24. They're living with their parents already. They can't afford to live on their own already. And this has just made the situation 10 times worse. I had a career fair 3 days ago. I've done it for years. It's high school students, 9th and 10th grade year-olds coming to learn about air traffic. We're very popular. This was the first year I didn't have answers to their questions. The kinds of things they were asking us, why we should do this job, what are we looking for in the future, were things I didn't want to say. I told them how wonderful the job is, how great we are, how dedicated we are to the career field, how dedicated we are to our community, and how dedicated we are to each other, and that's what we're doing. And that's why we're still here.
Nick, I have one quick, so quick. So on Halloween, we saw 80% of the controllers. Nick, on Halloween, we saw 80% of the controllers at New York not show up, and the administrator said 20 to 40% of controllers at any given day are not showing up at the 30 largest airports. Do you think sort of the controllers hit a breaking point at that point? Like, what do you think accounts for the significant increase in outages over the last, say, 10 days or whatever?
Well, let's be clear. That statistic, I don't know it to be true. About 80%. When you only have 4 controllers and you have 2 of them that can't make it to work, you're at 50%. Some of our facilities have only 3 or 4 controllers on a shift, day in and day out. You've seen the delays that are because of it, but now you're just getting to see it nationwide when people are missing it. The true issue is people not getting paid. That's the issue. And the only solution to it is ending the shutdown and ensuring that they receive the compensation and pay that they rightfully deserve. There is no world that exists where you can't pay people and run the system the same. Issues are going to crop up. They're going to crop up across the country. And the absence of 1 or 2 controllers, it's not a matter of breaking them. It's a matter of them being fit and ready for duty and being able to show up and do the amazing job that they do day in and day out to serve the American public. They are the unsung heroes. They are the American patriots that Secretary Duffy talks about, and they are doing everything they can to hold this system together and be out there serving the American public during these trying times. But 41 days without pay is unacceptable.
Really quick, in the last 2 minutes, President Trump posted on Truth Social, very long, so I'll just read part of it. All air traffic controllers must get back to work now. Anyone who doesn't will be substantially, quote, docked. For those air traffic controllers who were brave patriots and didn't take any time off for the Democrat shutdown hoax, I will be recommending a bonus of $10,000 per person for distinguished service to our country. Just came out. Any initial response to that?
So I'll take anything that recognizes these hardworking men and women, but we'll work with the administration on any issues that are out there. Air traffic controllers have continued to show up during this shutdown. They've endured the longest shutdown in American history, and every single day, they absolutely not only deserve their pay, they deserve to be recognized for what's going on. So we'll work with the administration through it. We'll work through the issues that are going on, and we want, just like the rest of the American people want, this shutdown to end. The frustrations that are out there are real, and we share them because we're frustrated with the process as well. Again, air traffic controllers should not be the political pawn during a government shutdown.
Okay, great. Thank you, everybody, for that. Some of you have requested pull-asides. Let's discuss those, and we'll take care of that. But thank you for that. That's the end of the press conference.
Thank you. Appreciate it. What do you have set up?